So let's start. Just give me 1 minute. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a app service plan. So I think yesterday we were just checking those Azure portal settings, and what we found that all of us have been provided with a fixed resource group, right? So if you go ahead and create it, then it won't allow you, right? That's what we have checked. Anyone who is having the exception, I think all of you are the same, like we are having the same challenge. I can see 26 people connected right now. Okay, so Abhishek, if you can share your screen.
Visible.
Yeah, it's visible. So let's go to the portal.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So what we checked about the resource group is all of us are having one. You created one more yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So guys, please check whether you are all are having this broad image gallery.
Yes.
All of you.
Yes.
Dave, I don't have it.
Mm, who's this?
Akhil.
Akhil.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hi
anyway, this
Dave,
is
it's Muskan here. I also don't have it.
you guys. Okay, two of them are not having it. I think these are all machines, the images which have been provided.
Oh, it was there. I just found it. Akhil, if you haven't got it, I guess you should check in the section of resource groups. You will find it there.
Okay, so where are you guys
Okay.
checking?
Actually, there were two options of going to resource groups. So later on, I went from the home page. So it's there.
So basically, it's like that. You have to include all the subscriptions, then you can see the list of resource groups under each of them. So if only a few of the subscriptions are selected, then you won't be able to see all of
Okay,
them.
okay. I have it. I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is right. You need to select all, and the location should be all.
This
was with PSJH tools. So I was looking at operations analysis.
Okay. All right. I think this is good. So we have the prod gallery. Okay. So let's start. I think they created it yesterday. I think. This one.
Space is allowed.
No, that's what I mean. Hmm. We still don't have permissions. Okay. So let's start with the app service now. So the first thing that we are going to check about is the app service plan. Okay.
Yeah, they for me it's showing like the on Saturday actually we practiced this cloud, so for me it's showing. So do I need to create it again, or can I work with it?
What is it showing? The app service plan?
It's showing my name. Like I've created one with my name. So location is East US and operating system is Windows.
Okay.
On Saturday we created a web app.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
So
is web app.
okay, create one.
So you created by yourself or someone has asked you to
No,
create?
no,
Saket,
Saket
Saka
just
just wanted to check that out if it's working or not.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. I think he started on the initial front to check whether it is working or not. So, those who have been free, like you are able to check and you are able to use it. So if it is created, then you can use the same one. And I think most of you have the challenge, right? Only few of you have been able to create it. Harsh is one of them. How many are not able to create? Like how many are left out?
Most of us.
So most of you are left out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So please go ahead and create it. Okay. Okay. So let's give it a name, the app service plan. So you created a web app totally with app service plan, or it's just directly a web app?
yeah, we created a web app with the app service plan.
App service plan, no? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's give it a name. So I will like to give a demo. Now operating system, we are going to select either Windows or either we are going to select Linux. Now before that, before getting further, now what is the purpose of app service plan, guys? So yesterday we have discussed it. Just let's review it before moving further. What is the purpose of it? Why do we need to create an app service plan?
To group apps within subscription.
Okay.
To compute resources, like to include a set of compute resources for web app to run.
Hmm. That's right. Okay. Now, when we are deploying this whole app service stuff, okay, so there are certain process. The first thing is we are creating an app service plan. Okay, so in this we are so basically it's a part of your web app creation. Okay, so where we are trying to work. So what are the things which are required? The prerequisite first is an active, subscription. So an Azure account with active subscription is one of the major prerequisites that we need to have. So while we are creating the web app, so we can start with the app service plan first. So let us quickly create this. So we are setting the environment. So whether you're using a Windows or whether you're using a Linux, the region, okay, and then we are setting. So this is basically for the whole pricing and every stuff that you have. Okay. So here you have the pricing factor, the size of the. Now let's say, for example, once you have created this service plan, okay, and after creating, let's say if you're planning to, change the size of the VM, so will it require to get the system down? There should be any kind of downtime over there for the web app. Will it require a downtime, or can we do it in the running phase? What do you
I
think?
guess we can do it in the running phase. It doesn't require any downtime.
Downtown?
Downtime, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't require any downtime, guys, because we are changing the size. The majority, actually, in fact, if you say size changing, it requires a downtime. Okay, why? Because we are changing from one size to another size. Okay, so whenever you are changing the VM, okay, or whenever you're changing the size, whenever you're changing the size of the VM from one particular series to another, so it requires a downtime. Now, what is the logic behind it?
We might have to like deallocate the resources before changing the size, I think so.
Mhm. See, it's very simple. Like if you are trying to add something on your physical machine, okay. So if you're changing the size, that means the VM needs to be restarted. Okay, so it should be restarted. But downtime or this thing is basically like, when we talk about the downtime, what exactly is the downtime part? Okay, downtime is where we are trying to, get the whole VM disconnected and, the whole service is down and all this things, right? So again, whether we require downtime or not is a question over here. So downtime is a different concept, rebooting is a different concept. So will we require rebooting or will it require a downtime? Which one will be there? Rebooting or downtime? I know I'm trying to confuse you guys, but yeah. Will it require a reboot or will it require a downtime?
It will require a downtime, according to me.
Okay. What about other guys? So if I resize a virtual machine using the Azure portal or a PowerShell, so do I need to restart it or do I need to, get the downtime for it? Which one? So the concept is the availability of the VM should not be affected. Okay. So what you can do is Yeah. So yeah, we actually require a restart. Okay. There won't be any downtime which is required, but it would be a restart that would be required. So what we need to do is we need to get the machines, the machines will stop. Now there is a term called as availability set. Okay. So let's say if you have the availability sets and all. Okay. So you need to check with that. So you can make the things available over there and you can restart the machines. Okay.
So there we are saying
Restart.
that when one machine is restarted based on the availability sets, it will be shifted to some other um, uh, place. I mean, some other from where it will be running, and there will be no downtime.
Yes. Yes. So there is no downtime over there normally if you are having the availability set. Okay.
Okay, if we are
If the
subscribed
VMs,
for it.
yeah, if the VM is deployed in the availability set. Okay.
Okay.
So totally depends on that. All right. So let's select this. So this is a very common question which will be coming in the exams also. So if you're preparing for 104 and all, so they have this question so that whether the resizing of VM requires a downtime or not. So let's review and create it. So what is the purpose of tags, guys? Tags, TAGS.
What is the size which you chose for this?
Like I went for the basic one. I don't know, it's showing this violation issue.
I think it should be
Yes,
free, like it's premium.
yes, there. We create like the previous time we created a free one.
Okay, so let's create a free. So these are the environment, guys. Development, production, and isolated. Okay. Let's go for the development and test one. One GB. Let's see this.
We selected F1.
Yeah.
Which one did you select?
F1.
F1. So did they mention you to select it?
No, no, just because it was free, therefore Saket asked us to select that.
Okay. But it would be challenging with the web app part.
Even with that one, it's not working. It's not showing the same error.
No, it doesn't have anything with the series. Let's select the free one. No problem. Let us see. Yeah.
I think
The
it's the
template
same issue
difference and
that they were facing that day also.
okay.
Yeah, maybe only 10
That 10
deployments are
resources
allowed.
thing, yeah.
I think they had limited the connection over here. Denied allowed locations. Okay. So the location is not proper. Let us check with the. What is the location of this resource group?
East
East US
US.
worked for us.
Okay. Let's change it. I think they have limited us to only one region. This should work now. Yes.
Uh, the plan is premium V2 now. It's not F1.
I know, I know. I will change it. 1 minute. Let it get deployed. This is a plan, app service plan, right? But the free, I don't think you would be able to deploy anything anyway. We'll change it. That's not an issue.
It's working for free now.
The maximum number of free farmers. Okay.
Dev, I want to ask one thing. Like
Yeah, tell me.
the plans are like here, it's showing that 60 minutes per day compute. So like, is it something related that only 60 minutes I can work on this or something like that?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a free version. That is the reason I was saying this. Free version is like, so it's like for testing and all. Okay. If you
Okay.
want to test and if you want to check, so you can use those particular things. Abhishek. Abhishek, if you're there, what you can do
Yeah.
is just remove this plan from your service area, resource group, and try to create a new plan with the free one. Okay. So I think now we are confirmed that this resource group and everything is working fine. So just checking now.
Still
Remove this
shows the
plan.
same error, Dave. Like that day when we were trying to create web app, it shows the same error.
Whatever.
Like the free maximum number of free farm server is 10 and we cannot reach beyond that.
Yeah. Abhishek, I think Vandana told us to change the regions by changing the region section. Maybe 10 for a single region. I think that
Yeah,
works.
even I created with free. It worked now. You can try.
Yes, it worked
For
for me
for
also.
me, the B1 is
Just
also working.
For you, Laksh.
Yeah.
Uh,
so right now we have selected this F1 series. So D1 is also something you can go for, or you can even go for a B1 also. Okay, that's not a challenge. But yeah, because they are all development and testing related. Okay.
Dave, let's
So
try
Abhishek,
B1 once.
yeah, please go ahead. Practice it.
Yeah, works. B1
You did
worked.
B1,
Yeah.
it will charge you $54. Okay,
Laksh,
what
did
we'll
you
do
do
is,
B1?
no, he said D1, I think,
No, no, B1 only.
but that will charge you guys. Okay, so I think go with the free one for the
Okay.
training purpose. All of us, please go with the free one. Okay,
Yeah, Dave,
so
which location have you chosen for this one?
East US.
Oh, it worked now.
Okay, okay.
Yes, it was getting deployed. Okay, so now we have this whole app service plan created. So app service plan is more of like
Dave,
how
can
you
you
create a resource.
Dave, can you tell me once how to go back and change this from
Scale up.
B1 to
So
F1?
so just open up,
Okay.
go click on go to resource, go to this
Okay,
setting
okay.
blade. In the setting blade, look out for scale up.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
It's showing me the error, but the
Just wait
maximum
for a
number of.
few seconds. Just wait for a few minutes. It's still deploying in the backend, you know.
Okay.
So you can try it after some time.
So, what exactly was the problem that day that most of the people were not able to deploy, and today they were able to deploy? Like, what change did we do today? I
We
just
changed
wanted
the
to
region.
confirm. Okay, okay.
For a
So
single region, there are 10 free ones. So
correct. So by default, when you were creating the app service plan, so when you selected the resource group, after that automatically it took the central US or some other region. Okay. Now the why these challenges are getting for you guys is because see the whole environment over here has been it's like a policy based environment for you. Okay. So the admin, the Azure admin or the global administrator of this tenant, Azure tenant, what they did is they created a group, okay, a management group, and within that management group, they have added all of you, okay, your IDs, and they have given a role-based, access. So that is called as RBAC. So they have set a limit for the region. They have set a limit for the, all the resources what you can utilize. The reason behind this so that it's not affecting their environment. So it's a sandbox environment which they have provided. Okay. So normally if you are using this free version of Azure, which is freely available, so in that you can go ahead and deploy on any of the this thing, what do you call as region. There is no restriction over there. Because right now you're using the environment, the production environment, or one which is provided by your organization. That is the reason it has been restricted in some other way. So if you guys, if you want to practice by your own, you can go to just portal.azure and you can subscribe free version using your student passes for your practice, or you can use the same platform.
Dev,
Yeah.
whatever we did today, it's the same that we did that day. So it didn't work that day, but it did work now.
So that is the thing, no, that there was a gap. That day, Saket was only checking it, right? He was just trying to check whether the things are working because I think me and him, we were having some discussion, okay, on the on this whole environment part. So that is the reason, Mr. Saket was trying to check on this.
Okay.
Okay.
As long as I remember, we did not use Sandbox that day.
So today we are using it.
If we are using
No,
Sandbox.
no, we did
No,
actually.
we did use Sandbox that day.
Kshitija,
Either. Okay.
Kshitija, it's a wrong information. You should not provide wrong information, Kshitija.
Yeah, I apologize.
It's okay. All right. So
Dave,
let's
it's
move.
still showing the that error. The maximum number of free server
Same
farms allowed is
almost.
10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manju, you can try
For
for
me,
waste
it's 12.
US. For waste US, it's
Okay.
also getting like deployed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think, if they would have shared us the list of regions which have been allowed, no, that would have been great. This guys in the mail itself, right? So in your emails from the lab part from your organization, did you receive any kind of SOP or anything, any file? I think they should have provided it because when they are restricting the environment, they mention it. Yeah, these are the regions you can access for your labs. These are the areas. So everything is mentioned over there. So if you can check it, just let me know if it is available. It will really help us to take the things ahead in a smooth way. Anyway, so we are done with this app service plan. Now let's quickly jump to the web app. Okay, so let's create a web app. Again, all of you have, majority of you have created. But before that, let us discuss this web app stuff. So what are the things we require for creating a web app? One is the plan, the subscription, and then, we'll be starting with the creation of web app. Again, it requires subscriptions, resource group. Yes. So we'll be using the same resource group. We don't have any option anyway. And then we'll be talking about the instance details. So we'll be creating the instance. Okay. Service plan we have already selected. Okay. Now there are terms which we are going to talk about. Okay. There are different terms that we are going to discuss about and we'll be taking it ahead. So let's start with the web app creation.
Dev,
Yes.
just a small question. We can we rename any of the like app service plans or any of the web apps we already created?
Rename as in what part you want to rename?
The name of the service plan, like the previous day, when we were creating the web app, it got created for me. So the name is demo web app Abhishek. So if I want to rename it, can I rename it?
I doubt. No, it's not possible
Okay, okay
because
then.
this plans and all they are like tagged. Okay, so let's say if I want to rename this demo, okay, if I go over here, there is an overview page. Okay, so this is your resource group. Okay, this is the tag. Okay, anyway, we have not added the tag, and this is your plan. So we have given us demo F1 free plan. Okay, so we don't have any option for this. If you scroll down, what you can do is you can raise a request with your with this Microsoft team, and they can help you from the back end, not on the front end part. It is possible. Yes.
Dave, I
Okay.
think so. Like we can make a new one and remap the old resources to new one and delete the old one.
Yeah, that is possible. Okay. Just 1 minute, guys. Okay. Yeah. So we have this option. So let's create a web app and let's take the things ahead, guys. So let's quickly create a web app. app service. Okay. So Abhishek, you have not created any app services, right?
Yeah, right. I haven't.
Okay. So we'll be creating a web app, not an app service. Okay. So let's create a web app. Okay. So here we'll be using the same resource group. Anyway, we don't have any option over here. Yeah. So Abhishek, what name you want to give me to the instance?
Give it anything.
So this is the first time you guys are creating any Azure web apps, right?
No,
Because see
no,
what
Dave. We
Yes.
created Saturday.
We had created on
no
Saturday.
okay. So whatever name you are giving over here on the the name part for the instance details pane. So this name will be part of the app URL. Okay. So it will be like this, the app name, okay, whatever name you're giving, dot Azure website dot net. So it would be in that way. So let's give it a name. So we'll give it a name over here, demo. Uh, uh, testing.
Dave, we gave something like demo web app and our initial. Um, we gave something like that.
Oh, it's okay, you can give whatever name you want. That's not a challenge. Not available. This is gone. Testing is gone. Testing 22. Are you serious? 101.
OMG.
No, Abhishek. Now it's available. Okay. Okay. So now after this, we'll be selecting the code publishing part. So now here you're selecting the code. Okay. So whether it's a Docker or whether it's a particular option in the publish area. So we'll be selecting the code. So if you have a container that you want to take the hand, so you can select the Docker container. Okay. And after that, the runtime stack. So here we'll be selecting the kind of the environment. So here, whatever we are going to choose, okay, this may affect, the choice of operating system, okay, for some of the runtime stacks. So app service supports only one operating system, okay. For if so let's say if I'm going with .NET, okay, so let us select .NET 5. Okay, then Windows, okay, and after that, once we are done with the operating system.
So Dev, the region for this web app should be the region which we chose for the service plan or something else?
Yes. So we selected East US, right? Abhishek.
Yeah. It was East US.
It's showing not finding your app service plan. Mhm. Even in Central US, it's not able to find it.
I chose West US and still showing me the same.
No, that's not an error. It's just giving a
Yeah,
prompt. If you're not finding your app service plan, it
finding
will
your app
try with
service,
something
try
else.
a
That's
different
it.
region.
Below the app service plan,
Yeah,
it's yeah getting
yeah,
selected.
yeah, 1 minute. We do not select East US tool, right? It's not the East US tool. It's the East US. Okay, so let's go with the East US. Now this is where your app service plans you're selecting. So if now most of you might have created the app service from here, right?
Yes, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, and also one doubt for
Yeah.
runtime stack. For runtime stack, we selected ASP.NET version 4.8. It's fine, right?
Oh, it's okay. This runtime stack, it's basically an environment. Okay. So that's not a challenge. So I have selected .NET 5.
Yeah, hi there.
Yeah, Sarthak.
Hello. Yeah, like I'm not able to scale up, and there I'm not able to apply it. It's after selecting that F1, I'm not able to apply. It's not
Okay.
showing that option for me
So
to apply.
like what is the duration? How long it have been like you have created this whole provisioning thing?
Like 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
Okay. Just try to refresh your portal and check. Okay, so we are done with the sizing part, the series and all. Let's go to the deployment. Now, in the deployment, when we are talking about the deployment, here will be, selecting the
Hello.
option. Yeah,
I in my app service plan, it's a premium version. It's not getting to F1.
that's what,
Yeah,
you,
same. I'm
you can
getting the
scale
same
up the
thing.
things. Go to the scale up option in the settings blade. Open that, service plan resource and just go to the scale up option in the settings blade.
Maybe it's not after refreshing. Also, it's not happening for me in the scaler.
Okay. So let us complete this, deployment, and then probably we can come back and work on that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool.
So the problem is like the skew that we selected, no, the skew and the size. Okay. So you can change it. That's not a challenge. So we can select change size and we can, go and select development F1, whatever it is we want. Okay. We can scale up the things. Okay. Now, deployment, we are selecting, right now we are disabling the deployment. So let us the deployment. We are not doing the deployment. Let's go back to the monitoring aspect. Now, in the monitoring, what we'll do is we'll try to enable the application insight to know. Okay, so it's basically enable application insight and it's basically no. So this is again for your Azure monitor. Okay, so it helps you to monitor the application, the performance. Okay, any kind of challenge. So basically, you are trying to do it. So right now we are keeping it no. Then the last is your tag. To tag again, if you want to create any tags. So tags, it's basically for the billing purpose. Okay. So it helps you to identify, what resource you're using. And then we can review and create it. Okay. So let's create. Kshitija, you're based out somewhere in nature.
I'm sorry, I don't get your question.
Yeah, I can hear a lot of crows, birds.
There are trees. There are a lot of trees.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I'll
great.
turn my camera off. My microphone off.
Or no, no, it's okay. It's pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we are done with the deployment. Okay, now so the app is ready. Okay, so we can go. We are on the resource now. Let's go back to this option. See over here in the resource part. Okay, you can see whatever name you have given. So we have used demo Abhishek. So you can give best bike or best services. So there's a placeholder page. Okay, so this is a placeholder page. This particular area is called as placeholder page. So here you can find this is your URL, http dot colon the double slash demo Abhishek Azure Web Services .net. Okay, and you have the whole details. So on the left hand side, you will find the blade. So we have the deployment slots. We have the settings, where we can set up the whole option. So let us browse and see how exactly it looks. Abhishek, can you click on the browse if you're there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here. Congratulations, Abhishek. You got a website.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now this is the app service. This means that your app service is up and running. Okay. So the next thing that we are going to target is the deployment center, deployment stuff, and there are certain other steps that we are going to target on. So guys, anyone who can create a static HTML web app. So we have created a static HTML web app, okay, over here, and or this thing. So we can use the same thing, okay. We can create the same process using Azure Cloud Shell, okay. So we can deploy a basic HTML CSS site to Azure App Services. So we can do that. Again, for that we require an active Azure subscription. And once you log in, so what you can do is you can go to this. Let's go back to the service. So PowerShell is one of the platform which you can use. So whatever actions we are performing, whatever target, process that we are doing, we can do it via the portal, or we can use the PowerShell, okay, or the Azure Cloud Shell. So they are called as Azure Cloud Shell. So if we click over here, okay. So here you can see there are two options. Okay, kind of way. So here we have two options. One is Bash and another one is the PowerShell. Okay. So Bash is basically when you're having the Linux environment. PowerShell is for your Windows environment. So let's click on the PowerShell part. Okay. Now you need to select the subscription. So So we already have a subscription, and we need to create a storage. Okay. Okay. Let's click on advanced settings. So we'll create a new storage. We'll be using the existing one, Abhishek Anand. So let's give it a new name. So Cloud Shell will be selecting East US. We'll create a new Abhishek, can you type it from your end? Demo or something? Give it a name. Okay. Yeah. Now I can close. Okay. I closed everything. Okay, go back to the PowerShell. At settings, use advanced settings. Yeah, just select East US. Storage, you can name the storage, demo storage. File share, you can create one. Okay, give the name, demo. Yeah. Now create storage. It's already taken. Is there anything which is left? Abhishek is left.
It's not.
Even that has been taken. Okay.
Yes.
So give something like bike 123.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Works.
It's done. Creation is done. Perfect. Okay. So this is the Cloud Shell, guys. So Cloud Shell is a platform which is quite similar to your Power. So it provides you PowerShell. Okay. So Azure Cloud Shell, it's a platform where you can use Bash or PowerShell. Now, what is this PowerShell? So PowerShell is actually, uh, you know, it's a platform for your automation. Okay, so it's like a CLI only, but the difference between PowerShell and the command line is in PowerShell you can run or you can execute scripting. Okay, so if you want to do any kind of or you want to perform any kind of automation activities, so you can perform it using PowerShell. Okay, so basically this is on the command line area. So whatever activities that we have done via in a GUI where we have done it via click, mouse click, so everything in PowerShell will be done on command base. Okay. So PowerShell actually supports, you know, there's a term called as module and commandlets. Okay. So module is nothing but like a package. So let's say if you want to deploy a app service or you want to deploy a web app, there's a package for that whole, there's a module which is dedicated. And in that module, we have different set of commandlets. So if you want to execute those commandlet, you need to install the module first. Okay. So you need to install the module first, and then you would be able to execute those commandlets. Okay. Now, before moving ahead, so this PowerShell, it's a very, or you can say very strong or very, important tool in any organization on an administration perspective as well as on the, creation perspective, implementation perspective. So it becomes very vulnerable and important for any organization to, you know, to secure it, because if any intruder wants to attack the organization, one of the major areas that, or one of the major thing that they will try to look out for is the PowerShell login. So once they get access to this PowerShell, then it's unstoppable. So they can get access to anything, because see, GUI is having some restriction, so it cannot get into the real mode of your operating system. But when you talk about commandlet or PowerShell, it can just go till your kernel level, so you can penetrate till the kernel level, and it doesn't require any restart over there. So in order to secure this, there's an execution policy which has been set. What is this execution policy? Execution policy is nothing but the environment in which the PowerShell is trying to execute the commandlets. So let's say if I want to run a script, okay, so there's a different set of execution policy which is there in the PowerShell, okay, and then so if the execution policy is not set to that particular level, the script won't run. So what are these execution policies which are being supported by PowerShell? So we have remote signed, we have restricted, we have unrestricted. So these are some of the execution policy that we are having. Okay, the remote signed is basically where where, if let's say if you want to deal with the things on a remote basis. Okay, remote as in where you want to manage the system from one. So let's say there are two servers and you want to manage the second server from this particular machine. So both the machines, they should be on remote signing. So their PowerShells, they should have the execution policy of remote sign, and then they would be able to manage the things, or they can run the command remotely or script remotely on that machine. That is remote signing. Unrestricted, as the name itself is suggesting, it's everything is unrestricted. And restricted is where you will be able to run the commands, but not the scripts. Okay. So how to check the, what is the current execution policy? So, PowerShell has a set of commands which is called as action. So there's a get, there's a, set, add, all these are certain, they are actions in the command line. So whenever we are trying to define a commandlet, we need to define the action first, and then the noun, and then whatever parameters we are using. Okay, so that is how the whole commandlet is being written. Okay, even in the syntax part, or the syntax is happening. Even in your scripting part also, it goes in the same way. So let us start with the first and check what is the execution policy. So for that, we need to type get. Okay, so PowerShell is case sensitive and speed sensitive, both of them. So let us type it. So get, Abhishek, if you can type get, G-E-T, G capital. Okay. Get, as in, yeah. So get capital, no full stop. Okay. Get hyphen, immediately after get, hyphen. Now what we need to, so hyphen is basically to execute the further action. Okay. Get hyphen what? Execution policy. So execution, E capital. So you can just tab. You can just write for execution and you can tab. So it will take up the whole thing. Space. Space. Enter. Now just press enter.
Execution policy does have a space in between.
No space between that. Space as in space and
Okay.
enter. Yeah, enter. Just press enter. So what is the
Unrestricted it
current?
is.
Unrestricted. So normally, whenever you talk about the PowerShell, the Cloud Shell, you will find it is unrestricted. Okay. Now here you won't find a remote sign-in because it makes no sense, right? Remote sign is where you are trying to take the things remotely. Now on cloud, you're not taking anything remotely, right? It's like it's already on remote. What you want to take remotely now. So either you will have unrestricted or restricted. So Windows 10 has PowerShell. Okay, so if you check your Windows 10 machine, if you open up the PowerShell over there, you will find it in the start and in the start area. So you will find a PowerShell, window over there. And if you check the execution policy of Windows 10, it will be showing restricted. Okay, for the client part. For the server part, it is normally remote signed. Okay, by default. So, and on the Cloud Shell, you will find it as a unrestricted. So if I want to change it from unrestricted to restricted, so the command for that is set, set. So let's type it, set hyphen, then again execution policy. Just tab it. Okay, space. Now type the restricted one. Space restricted. Just type tab. Enter.
Set execution policy operation is not supported on this platform.
Okay, so they have restricted. Okay. Anyway, so we can't change it. Okay. But yeah, if you want to check it on your Windows laptop, on your personal laptop, so you can check it on your personal laptop too. So your system Windows 10 is also having the PowerShell. So there are two sets. One is ISE and one is the normal PowerShell. So ISE stands for Integrated Scripting Environment. Okay. So let's say if you want to run the script and parallelly check the execution of it, so you can use the ISE. So it has all the models and everything. You can load it immediately and you can start. Okay. Clear guys, that's PowerShell for you. So we can perform the same operation. So whatever we are doing, so whether it's app creation, whether it is web apps, whatever it is, the app service, so we can perform it using the Cloud Shell also. Okay. So whenever someone is asking, okay, what are the platforms you can use for performing any or creating any resource, so you can tell them that you can use Portal, we can use Cloud Shell, and we can use CLI, all of them. Okay. Okay, guys. So I think we should go for a break. So let's go for a tea break and let's join back. So after the break, we'll be continuing it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the tea break is for 20 minutes.
Hello, Dev.
Yeah, Kshitija.
Me and Manjot were not able to scale up our resources to F1. Can you take a look at it once?
Can we do it after the break?
Yeah.
I think all of us have started with the break, so there would be a difference then. They would be
Okay.
coming back and we will be sitting here.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll look it after the break.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, then.
Have a good cup of coffee.
Yeah.